Have you ever stared into a mirror and felt like something was staring back? Not your reflection, but something else. Something older. Something hungry. In New England, where the fog rolls in thick and ancient forests whisper forgotten secrets, there's a legend about mirrors. They say some aren't just glass, they're windows, and sometimes doors. Tonight, we'll tell the story of someone who found that door, and what waited on the other side.
It started subtly, like most horrors do, a flicker at the edge of the eye, a shadow that shouldn't be there. Ethan had lived in Providence, Rhode Island his whole life, a quiet town, rich with history and older things. Ethan had always felt watched. Even as a kid, there were moments when the air felt too heavy, when the house seemed too silent. Shadows flitted at the corners of his vision, and he'd wake at night with the sensation of eyes on him. Unseen, but felt. As he grew older, the feeling didn't fade. It intensified. Dreams of dark places, filled with whispers he couldn't understand. A figure lurking in the shadows, always just out of reach, but always there. Then, the nightmares began. It happened on a fog-drenched night in October, because of course it did. Ethan, alone in his creaking colonial-era house, was restless. Something gnawed at him. Drawn by an unseen pull, he found himself standing before the antique mirror in his bedroom. An heirloom passed down through generations, its frame cracked and blackened with age. At first, it was just his reflection. But then, the eyes. They weren't following him. When Ethan blinked, the reflection didn't. When he raised his right hand, the mirrored version mimicked the movement, but its eyes stayed fixed, staring directly behind him, at something only it could see. A pressure built behind Ethan's eyes, sharp, cold, invasive. The mirror's surface rippled, like water disturbed by an unseen force. And then, the reflection vanished. The mirror revealed something else, a suffocatingly dark room. Flickering candles lined the floor, illuminating arcane symbols scrawled on every surface. In the center, a woman knelt, her body gaunt, twisted, draped in decayed cloth. But it was her face that stole the air from Ethan's lungs. She had no eyes. The eyeless woman tilted her head, as if she felt him watching. And then, impossibly, she turned to face him. A sound erupted in Ethan's mind, not through his ears, but inside his skull. A terrible, high-pitched wail, layered with whispers in a language no human should understand. His knees buckled. Darkness closed in. But before he blacked out, he heard a voice, clear and cold, whispering directly into his thoughts. Now, I see through you. Ethan woke on the floor, gasping for air. The mirror was gone, but something was wrong. Wet footprints, small, delicate, traced across the wooden floorboards, leading away from where the mirror had stood. A soft, dragging sound echoed from the hall. Footsteps, getting closer. 3 deliberate knocks on his door. He backed away, heart racing. And then, scrawled on the wall in a dark, oily substance, appeared a message. If my eyes, now yours. The grammar was broken, almost childlike, but the meaning was crystal clear. The eyeless woman was no longer confined to the mirror. The room darkened, as if the walls themselves were suffocating the light, and then the mirror reappeared. But the reflection wasn't Ethan. It was her. The eyeless witch, her hollow sockets leaking black tears, smiled. A grotesque, triumphant grin. The mirror began to crack, hairline fractures spreading outward like veins. And then, shatter, darkness. Ethan blinked. When his vision cleared, he was no longer in his room. He was in hers. Candles flickered around him. Symbols crawled across the floor. He tried to move, but his body wouldn't obey. He was kneeling, bound, trapped. A glint of silver caught his eye. a dagger resting nearby. But when he looked into its polished blade, his stomach twisted in horror. It was his reflection, but eyeless. And then the final whisper, sealing his fate. Now you will see what I see. The world collapsed inward. Ethan was gone.
So, what do you think? Was Ethan just another victim of a cursed relic? Or was it something worse? Maybe something waiting for anyone reckless enough to stare too long into their own reflection? What would you have done? Looked away? Or would curiosity have pulled you deeper? Let me know in the comments, because I want to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this journey into the shadows, give it a like, share it with a fellow horror lover, and subscribe to Gazing the Abyss for more chilling tales that blur the line between myth and reality. Every like and share helps keep the darkness at bay, or maybe brings it closer. Until next time, don't look too long into the mirror. You might not like what's staring back. And remember, the abyss is waiting for you.